And the first thing we want to do is get the rub put together. And we're going to start with 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. I'm making dry rub ribs today. And so we'll get that sugar in. And next, 1/4 cup of paprika. Make sure it's nice and fresh. And in that goes. All the ingredients are listed in the description box, so don't forget to look there. And then we want to stir this together, the light brown sugar and the paprika, and get it mixed. Next, 1 teaspoon of cumin. Now, dry rub ribs are a little more challenging, but if you'll follow this method, I think you'll be pleased, and they turn out so well, and it's so simple. And next, 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I try to use ingredients that I think you may have already in the kitchen. And then 1 teaspoon of Cayenne pepper, and this is optional. It's put some spice to it, which I like. And then 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt. If you don't have seasoned salt, you can use kosher salt. And then 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And then 2 tablespoons of coarse ground black pepper. And it's just that simple, and now all you have to do is mix it together. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I will really ask you to share my videos as well. Now I've taken the membrane off of the back of the ribs, and for a binder I'm going to use Worcestershire sauce. And this adds a wonderful flavor, so I'm going to put a generous amount, and this is the bone side. I call it the back side, but it's actually the bone side. The meat side is down, the bone side is up. So I'm rubbing this side and also feeling for any sharp edges. If there's anything sharp, I want to take care of that. They feel just fine. It's a nice meaty rib. And so then with my clean hand, I just grab some of that rub and begin to sprinkle it on. And we want to try and get the rub on the sides and just everywhere that the meat showing. Flip it over. And I'll put a first coat of the rub on that meat side, and then add Worcestershire sauce and get it nice and wet, just like that. And then add a little more, a second coat, if you will, of the rub. And if there's any dry areas, I want to get it nice and moist so the rub sticks, even though this is a dry rub. Then we go out to the pellet grill and get it going at 250 degrees. And as soon as it's up to temperature, I've transferred the ribs into this roasting pan with the rack. You can see the rib there, just 1 rack of ribs. That's all I need. I'll put that on for 45 minutes, meat side up. And then after it goes for 45 minutes, I'll come out just like this, and what we're going to do is check it, make sure that's nice and stuck. It's not going to fall off, and then flip them over and go meat side down, just like that, for an additional 45 minutes. And so at the end of that second 45 minutes, I go out and get some aluminum foil and put a good amount of light brown sugar and honey and apple juice, just enough to get everything nice and moist, about like that. I want to make sure the apple juice doesn't just run off. It's not a lot, but you can see it's moistened everything. And now the 45 minutes, the second 45 minutes, so that's an hour and a half total time so far in the smoker. At 250 degrees, we'll take the ribs out and place them on top of the sugar and honey, meat side down, and then more sugar on top. And this is light brown sugar, and then more honey and a little more apple juice. And then I wrap the ribs up. I've got 2 layers of heavy duty aluminum foil, and we're going to wrap the ribs just like that, put them back in, and let them go for 2 hours. still have the heat at 250 degrees. And then after 2 hours, they're ready. And so I'll bring those in to the house and we'll take a look at these dry rub ribs. Now, one of the things you might wonder is, if they're dry rub, why is there so much liquid? It sure looks wet. Well, this is the liquid that comes from cooking the ribs, and once you take them out of the aluminum foil, and we'll let them set, and you'll see with about 10 minutes they've become nice and dry. They're not sticky. You can put sauce on them if you'd like to, and a lot of people do, but this is the traditional dry rub. You can see now they're dry, more or less dry. They're still nice and a bit sticky and sweet, and we'll just slice into these ribs. These are some of the best ribs you'll ever have. Super tender and moist all the way up. Even the very top of the meaty side is still nice and tender. Perfectly done. Now, these aren't fall off the bone ribs, and they're not supposed to be. Take a look at that. Oh, beautiful. And so delicious. Look at that. I want you to know these are wonderful. And if you like yours with sauce, well, you just put a little sauce on before you take that bite. But that's how you make them. It's very simple. It's a 3.5 hour cook. And you'll have these beautiful dry rub baby back ribs. That's how you do it. Hey, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye now.